Let's go to Sean in Chelmsford. Sean, good evening.
Good evening, Daniel. Thanks for taking my call. My wife works for a fairly large organisation. Around Christmas time, just gone, she started a new role within that organisation, went to her office on her first day, took a seat amongst her other colleagues, and as soon as she sat on the chair itself, the back of it shot back, and she went back with it, caused herself quite significant whiplash injuries. It just completely ruined our Christmas at the time. Had to pay for her to have private treatment because the NHS waiting list just couldn't see anyone. We spoke to our employer, the legal team within our employer, and they have only accepted what they call 50% liability for what happened. This isn't a chair that she took with her; it's a chair that was provided by the organisation. They said that she had a duty to check the chair was in full working condition before she sat on it, which to us made no sense because she's not an engineer, and the chair was seemingly in good condition before she sat on it. So really, my question is, we're not really sure what to do, whether or not we have to accept the 50% or whether we should pursue a more substantial claim like 100%, because we feel as though not only did she suffer the embarrassment of this occurring in front of all of her brand new colleagues who didn't know her, but also the injury itself and the toll it's taken on her.
I'm sure. Is she okay now, Sean?
Oh, she had to have an MRI about 2 weeks ago. We're still waiting on the results of that.
Is she in pain still 6 months on?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And of course, as you've just pointed out, it's humiliating on your first day at work. Have her work colleagues started calling her by a silly nickname because she can't sit on a chair?
Yeah, it's silly. She's sort of laughing at it with her colleagues now, but she's laughing because she's embarrassed, and they still bring it up to this day.
Yeah. All right, here's the answer. So your employer says that she had a duty to check her own chair and make sure it was in good working condition. Absolute codswallop. Absolute drivel. There is... it's just preposterous. I'm almost lost for words. Nobody sits on a chair, but before they sit on the chair, they walk around it, check all the joints are working correctly, and check all the mechanisms working. Of course not. A chair is a chair. It's there to sit on. The employer's provided it to sit on, and it's there to be sat on. Your employer is talking nonsense. Is it your employer's? You said it's your employer as well as your wife's?
Yeah, we both have the same employer.
Okay. Have they gone through their insurance company, and is it their insurance company saying this, or is it their in-house legal team?
Their in-house legal team.
Right. Here's what's happening. I just want to ask one other question. Is it a private sector employer or a public sector employer?
Public sector.
Right, okay. So they won't have an insurance policy. They'll probably self-insure, which is why they haven't gone off to an insurance company. They, as a public body employer, they probably don't insure, and they probably fund these claims themselves. That explains why it's being dealt with by the in-house team. If it was a private company and they'd send it off to their insurance company, then it would be dodgy in the extreme, the fact they're trying to stop it going to their insurance company. But that's not the case. Okay. They are so trying this on, Sean. I would, if I were you, go to a firm of solicitors and get them to write a few letters and represent your wife. You will get more money that way. First of all, the moment there are solicitors on board, the company lawyers will stop running this ridiculous argument that your wife is 50% responsible. Second of all, a firm of lawyers, and you can get no-win, no-fee lawyers in Chelmsford. A firm of lawyers will be able to assess the value of your wife's claim much more than you can, and they'll stop you being lowballed. They'll know what the injury is worth. They'll be able to help get medical evidence. They'll be able to help her claim for the medical expenses. It's so worthwhile getting a solicitor for this, Sean.
No, thank you very much. I thought that was the case. You don't check a door every time you walk through it. You don't check a light switch every time you press it. I didn't see what the difference was with a chair as well. So thank you very much. Totally, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. And my best wishes to your wife. I hope she does recover in the medium term.